Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tithely University. So excited to see you guys here today. I am your host, Addie. You guys hopefully are not sick of seeing my face yet. And I want to say a big welcome to anybody who was on our webinar last week as well. I know that we kind of had them scheduled a little bit closer this time around, but I'm so happy if you guys are able to jump onto both. I'm super excited for today's webinar. This is going to be less practical and more inspirational and some really great tips and tricks from our incredible marketing director, who I'm going to introduce in just a second. Before we get started, we have a couple of fun things to talk about. We have a giveaway today. Justin's gonna come in at the end and talk about this a little bit more, but please stick around to the very end. I'm super excited about it, so definitely stay around for that.
That's how we get you. You can't bail early because you're like, what is it? What am I going to get?
Exactly. You got to watch all the way to the bitter end today. All right. And then for our next slide, this is just an overview of the various product suites that we have. I know we talk about this almost every day, or sorry, every time we have a Tithely webinar. Today, we're not going to be hitting on any of these specific products, but for all of you guys, just to have a quick visual for this, we have our finance department, our communications, and our CHMS department. So doing the best we possibly can to provide services across every single area that a church or a nonprofit needs. I know all of you guys right now, we're working in that finance. We're doing so many tax statements. So if you guys have any questions about these, you can always reach out, but these are the various areas that we provide services for. And then the next one is just some of our CX core values. I also want to apologize. I have a puppy in the house. We're all working from home. So if you hear that, I'm so sorry. So I'm obviously our senior support manager here at Tithely. And these are the core values that we try to bring to the table within our customer experience department. Customer-centric, innovative, transparent, solution-motivated, and partnered and invested in your success. I hope you guys feel these values from us. It's something that we're really working towards. And we have a really big customer experience department now, which we're so excited about. So just wanted to kind of go over these and show you guys all of our values. All right, I am now going to introduce Justin officially. So obviously Justin's been here. He is our incredible marketing director. I'm so excited to have Justin on here today. He is going to be talking through all of the different areas and ways that you can really engage your donors and your members at your church. Sounds really simple, but a lot of this is really going to benefit how you guys can also utilize our incredible product suite in order to do that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off video and go on mute. I'll be here. If anybody has any questions, please post them in the Q&A section down at the bottom of your screen. I'll be monitoring that throughout the webinar as well. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, Justin, take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Addie. And thanks for joining us. Looks like we've got 75 and now 76. It just keeps climbing. So very excited for you to join us. Thanks for jumping on. I'm going to go through some kind of communications and marketing tips and just theories for you that I think is important for you to think about in your church. And we'll go over some of the products that we offer, obviously, that help with this as well. And I don't know about you guys, but you know, I get a lot of pushback on the use of technology in the church just all the time, especially when it comes to communications and marketing. And whether, you know, it's from the senior pastor who's adverse to change or just wants to focus on getting people into the church to hear the preaching, or whether it's from the congregation just kind of feeling overwhelmed over communications and marketing. But what we can't dismiss is just the important role that technology plays in our lives today. We simply just can't ignore that. The question really becomes how best to use the technology, especially when it comes to your church communications strategy. So that's what we'll go over today. And particularly, how do we keep it biblical and useful for our mission to spread the gospel and make disciples? So I'm going to go over some tools from Tithely and how we can use them to achieve these goals. But first, I just want to take a minute to talk about the role of technology in communications and marketing that we have as in our roles as communicators of the gospel, or church admins, or pastors, or whatever your official role is. And so today's world, technology makes it easy to stay connected with the people you love, yet many pastors and church leaders are hesitant to use the power of like texting, email, app notifications, Well, let me get here. Yep, just want to make sure we're on the right slide there. It's jumping around on me. Um, you know, we kind of see some of these tools um, in a verse way. Perhaps it's the perceived cold nature of certain forms of technology, push notifications. We see them as from Amazon deliveries or bank transactions. And when done poorly, email newsletters can be impersonal and just announcement laced filler, and text messages. We see those as, oh, those come from friends. And we all have that friend who kind of texts way too much, right? And insists on adding you to, a group message, or really the worst sin of all, adding you to a group message where one person in the group has an Android phone. I mean, that's just the worst. Technology just generally gets a bad rap. And frankly, there's a lot about technology that can be harmful. We realize that, but it doesn't have to be. Technology is really the medium, and it's not the message. How and why we communicate is what matters. And not surprisingly, the Bible does have a lot to say to the New Testament church on that subject. And in the early days of the Bible, they used the tools at their disposal to get out to as many people as they could through the printing press and preaching from church to church. And our role now in the 21st century is to embrace the tools of our day and to be shrewd and discerning on how we use them. And so, as we look at the tools at our disposal for communications, marketing, we can use them to encourage one another. For many of us, encouragement comes easier when it's one-to-one, and that's great. And it's not always easy to do that in today's world. Frankly, it's just not quick enough. Living a Christian life comes with so many challenges, and we all need encouragement, and we need it throughout the week. As we know, during COVID-19, face-to-face time wasn't even an option for many. It's still important that we offer each other regular doses of encouragement. Do you know someone who's struggling through a particular hard time? Maybe you can send them a quick text to let them know you're praying for them. Want to encourage all the members to continue in the faith when times get tough? You can shoot a quick video message, just 2 to 5 minutes long, and push it out on your church app or to YouTube. You can encourage your volunteers with text messages and email, include helpful resources, content, and encouragement in your weekly email newsletter. These are all ways we can use this type of communication and technology to encourage. We also use communication tools to inform. We know life gets busy, and we don't get to connect as often as we'd like. And it gets really easy to feel disconnected sometimes. Christians in the first century knew it was critical to keep meeting together despite hardship and persecution. How much more do we need that connection with one another today? Technology allows for ongoing connection even when we can't be in the same building. Weekly small group meetings are one thing, but now we can keep the conversation going throughout the week. And texting and in-app messaging allows you the privilege of doing life together no matter where you are. And we've got an option here where we see you can communicate easily with your worship volunteers or any group within some of our apps. And we'll go over those in a minute. Another thing communications tools allow us to do is communicate honor to those who are behind the scenes. Church services are only 1 hour, maybe 2 hours on Sunday morning, with worship, teaching, announcements, testimony. There's just not much room for anything else. But what about all those people behind the scenes? Wouldn't it be great to draw attention to the faithful people changing diapers in the nursery week after week, or the Saturday crew that keeps the grounds and facilities looking great, everyone behind the production booth? New Testament tells us we are to consider others more important than ourselves. So why not use our communication strategy to highlight someone who's sometimes overlooked? Consider an in-app blog post to showcase faithful service of someone in your congregation, or it could be a regular feature in your email newsletter. It's just amazing to see how contagious it can be to actually honor people in that way, and how people will engage with that content, especially as you push it out on social media and email and platforms like that. We need the word of God. We need to read it. We need to hear it. We need to breathe it. We need to soak it in. We all know this. Gospel is Jesus's story, though. It's not our story. And so while we can live exemplary lives and be good examples, when it comes down to it, people just need that confrontation with their sin, and they need to hear the gospel as really the one and only answer to redemption. And this message is no doubt communicated by your church every Sunday, but church tech is a great way to help people get fed throughout the week as well. Bible reading can be a daily challenge just all by yourself. So maybe consider pushing out a Bible reading plan. You can use your app to share the plan. You can post messages and devotionals and hear insights and feedback from everybody who's participating as well. Another powerful approach is to record short videos where a passage is read and brief thought or two is shared. These don't even have to be high quality productions, just an honest and open look at scripture designed to keep people reading. And it's something you can do right on your phone. Prayer is also essential to the Christian life, of course, and yet many people don't feel that we have the time to pray much throughout the week. Others have prayer needs, but just don't know how to share them or get them to the church or get them to other people in your community. And one of the best features of a custom designed church app is there's a place for prayer requests. It's like having a virtual prayer meeting right there on your phone, allowing your members to offer up their prayer requests and bring each other's needs before each other and before the church, and people can respond and answer as well. You can even engage your people through prayer through text message or email or a Facebook group as well. It's a great feature to add into a weekly email newsletter. Now, most importantly, communicating with your church is really a way of loving your brothers and sisters in Christ, loving one another. When you love someone, you want to spend time with them. Text messaging, emails, in-app content, that can all be a way that you show people that you care. To the early Christians, they met together every day, and our busy modern lives don't usually allow us to do that. We've got church on Sunday and we've got midweek groups, but we can come together as often as that through the phones in our pockets as well. It's just one of the different ways that we can stay connected and love on one another. Now, technology can seem like a burden. It's a threat to add more to our busy schedules, but good tech allows us to actually do important things in a new way. And what we really need to focus on is how can the right communication strategy just strengthen what your church is already doing well. And at Tithely, we work tirelessly to develop tools and apps that help you not just increase generosity within your church, which is of course needed, but we believe the power of technology can help you engage with your people and stay connected, building disciples and not just Sunday attenders. And I'll go through some of the products that we have that can help you do this. Everything we do is really built around Tithely people, because people are at the center of everything that your church does. And so, this is our central CHMS system built right in on the Tithely side. You can group people into your database, and this is the data that feeds everything else within the system. And some of these tools you guys use already. One of these that you may not be taking advantage of is Tithely Sites. Your church website is really one of the most important tools you can use to communicate with your people. It's really your central hub for all communication, content, information, text messages, email, social media. All of that can point back to your website for more info. Making sure your site is easy to use, mobile friendly, all that's super important. And for most churches, making sure it's easy to update is just as important. Otherwise, your site will just sit there and be stagnant and outdated. I'm surprised how many church websites I visit today that still have information about like their Christmas gathering still right there on their homepage, just because nobody's updating that quick enough, or they don't know how. And with Tithely sites, it just makes it super, super easy to be able to do that. Even your senior pastor can do it. That's how easy it is. And church apps are also an incredible tool for your church. For the longest time, church apps have been pretty stagnant, just like feeds of blog posts. And maybe if you're fancy, you have sermon videos on there, but really it's just feeds from your website that you plug in, and it's kind of set it and forget it. And, it's fun and cute, but it hasn't really been that useful over the years. Why would people go to trouble of downloading your church app if they can access all of that just as easily on your website? And so we have changed that and made these apps way more useful through, push notifications and things like that. Groups and in-app messaging within the app is stuff we're rolling out now, to where your app can be something that your church members are really using every day and interacting with every day. It just keeps them connected not only to the church for information and content, but with each other as well. And it can do a ton of stuff that your website just can't do. And so if you're not taking advantage of a custom church app, then definitely you want to check that out. One of the key features of the app really is groups. You can use this to engage with people, enable them to engage with each other. It's really where true discipleship happens. Small groups can connect with each other privately within the app. You can push out important notifications. And we've got more coming with apps like mobile check-in for kids, ministry. You check in right there on your phone. So, make sure you watch out for our Tithely Next events to see what's coming up. I think our next one is coming March 29th. And so you'll want to keep track of that and sign up for that when it's coming. And lastly, definitely got to mention Tithely messaging. This is such a powerful tool, and it's just gone through such a major update. This is all built right into Tithely. You can grab your contacts from Tithely people and whatever groups and segments you have built, and you can send text messages. You can send rich text emails. It's great for following up with new people too, staying connected with your volunteers and your teams and stuff like that. And really just informing your people about changes and staying connected with people from week to week. Like I said earlier, you can use it for prayer requests. You can use it for all sorts of stuff. And I love how churches are using this to send out just beautiful weekly email newsletters. And the best part about that is that it's free to send emails. So if you're using MailChimp or something like that, you can go ahead and ditch that, start using Tithely messaging, and send out just as beautiful emails, weekly newsletters, whatever you got to do. It's such a powerful tool that more and more churches are using that. We've rolled out all these additional features. So that's all I got for you today. Just, some high level info on communications, marketing, how that's important to churches, some of our products that definitely help out with that. And we can go into more of those too, if you guys have any questions, stuff like that. But I'll kind of turn it back to you, Addie. And if anybody has any questions, we can definitely get to that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Justin. Such great biblically centered advice, you guys. I love hearing stuff like this. I think it's so important as we're trying to serve our donors and our members that we have in our church. And if you really look into what the Bible says, it's so cool to see the parallels between that and what we're trying to offer in today's world and in a technology-centered world. So I love that. That was so fun, even for me to hear as well. Abraham had a question about pricing. Abraham, we love questions like that. So our pricing page, I'll go ahead and I'll include that also in the chat in just 1 second here, but I did want to talk really briefly about that. So our products are listed out in a couple of different ways. Number one, you can do our all access package, which is what we really recommend if you're wanting to get the full suite of communication products, of financial products, et cetera, et cetera. That's going to be $99, and that includes a website, messaging, app, all of the things that Justin mentioned today. If you are wanting to get it as just an auxiliary product, that's going to be a $19 a month fee along with a $149 setup fee. So it really depends, Abraham, on the needs that you're looking for your church. If you're just wanting a site, we recommend going with the $19. But if you are really wanting to include and increase your communication products, it'll be great to go for that all access pricing as well. Will has a great question about notifications from group chats. There we go. Will, if you can just reach out to support@tithe.ly. I'm adding this also into the chat for the rest of our members today who are watching this, just to make sure that you guys can reach out directly about any specific technical questions like this. I have an amazing crew of support reps who will be able to answer this directly, but I would recommend reaching out directly to that, and then we can help out. And Nicole, yes, $99 a month is that all access price. All right, I'm going to go ahead and scroll through these.
Awesome about that is it doesn't go up as your church grows either, right? I mean, like,
Exactly.
you know, so many, not to knock any of our competitors because they got great products too, but you know, you see that a lot where you know, when outreach calls, you're like, oh my, you know, our church is huge, 10,000 people showed up last week. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, report on that. But you know, when your church tech company calls, you're like, oh, I don't know, we're struggling, 100 people maybe.
No, and
that with Tithely.
That's such a good point, Justin. And I even just like sit on that for a second. Tithely's main vision is to provide the best products for every church across the world, right? Like if you really narrow it down to what we're trying to do on a day-to-day basis, it's that no matter how big, no matter how small, no matter if you're a church plant, by the way, we have some great church plant pricing for everybody. So if you are a church plant, please reach out and we'll get you handled. But our CEO, Dean, used to be a pastor for years and years and years before he decided to start Tithely. So he has so much experience working through member issues and understanding the needs of a church as a pastor. So very truly, our heart is always just to serve the church, no matter what that looks like. And we really hope our pricing reflects that. It is always a flat fee. No matter how big you get, no matter how many people you come in, no matter how many people donate, it is a flat $99 a month fee, and you are never going to see that change. And it's something that we're really proud of. So I love that we brought that up. I think it's a really important part of what we provide. Armando, great question about other languages. Yes, Spanish is supported officially. This is a big thing we just recently launched, and we're so excited about that. Go ahead and reach out to our support team, Armando, and we can talk about how to actually get that ready and started for you. This also is accurate for our site and for Elvanto as well. We have tons of different languages that are supported for both our sites and our Elvanto product. So please reach out and we'll absolutely help with that. Letitia, it looks like you had a question about the kiosk. So I'm going to touch on this just briefly for you guys. I know this isn't really to do with communication, but there's a couple of different areas that you can use if you're wanting to like swipe a credit card for your church. We have a kiosk setup that's very, very simple. Literally all it is you can load up a web page of your giving form that doesn't save people's information. So as somebody enters in their information, it will clear it as the next person walks up, and then they can then enter in their information as well. All you need to support a kiosk is anything that can browse the web, a laptop, an iPad, an iPhone, an Android phone, whatever you got that can browse and surf the web, you can pull up our kiosk. It's very, very simple. If you're wanting, Letitia, to like actually use a credit card for like coffee, or maybe you're selling some t-shirts at your church, we have an incredible product called Tithely Pay that does exactly that and syncs across the board with all of the rest of our products. That's also included in our pricing page, which I added into the chat for you guys. So you can also take a look there. Heather, yes, 99 includes text, messaging, pay, everything you possibly can imagine. That's included in our $99 a month fee. Okay, let me go ahead and keep scanning through. Trevor had a great question about in reaching out to people if there's a way to send a post or video to multiple social media platforms, including like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter all in one click. Trevor, I don't know off the top of my head right now how feasible that is. However, with our custom church app, I'm sure there is a way to make that a lot easier than doing it all manually one at a time. So I'd recommend reaching out to us directly at support@tithe.ly, and we can work with you on that. There's also probably a way to do that also with our site product as well. And honestly, with our messaging, there's a lot of different things we can probably use to make that work for you. I just don't know off the top of my head the best way that we can do that. Oh, I'm so sorry, Royce. It looks like you aren't seeing those links that I'm posting. You know what, guys? Here's what I'll do is I'll in the follow-up email, I'll send those out as well to everybody, just so you guys know. I'm so sorry, guys. Sometimes the chat doesn't work perfectly for that. So I'll make sure that we send out our pricing page for everybody who's here today, along with that support email as well, okay? But that will definitely be sent out directly. Okay, Josiah had a question about text message pricing. Yeah, Josiah, I absolutely understand that. So it looks like he's wondering about the comparison between Elvanto text message pricing along with Tithely text message pricing. We absolutely understand that. To be very candid, they're just very different products. And so our text message pricing that we have is actually the cheapest across our competitive environment. Most people will have it be usually upwards of $20 a month. And then there's also like even added fees on top of that, more so than what we're charging. But if you guys already have Elvanto and you're paying for that product, you could absolutely use the SMS feature within Elvanto. That is totally fine. It's not required that you use our text giving platform, but we launched text giving for our giving customers specifically because they weren't using our Elvanto product at that point. So they are just two different products, but both of them are great. You can use either one and there's no problem either way. All right, let me keep going down. Jackie, yes, it does. If you post on the app and you post on the site, they do link. We have a wonderful integration across both of those. I'm so excited about that. And if you have any questions about that, please let us know. Yes, this is being recorded today and will be sent out to every single person on this webinar as well, including these incredible slides that Justin has prepared for all of you guys. So that's all going to be sent out today. No need to worry about that. Okay. Oh, Eric had a great question. He says 2 issues. There can be too many emails to donors, or sorry, to members of your church, and the emails that contain too much information. What's a rule of thumb, Justin, in your opinion, of like how long an email should be and how many emails you should be sending out to people?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question, Eric. And I know that we hear that a lot. Churches sometimes will get a little crazy with what they're trying to announce and put out. And there's just so many requests, you've got to communicate it all. And so that's one way where like rolling that all up into a weekly email newsletter where you're sending just one communication out per week is a good idea. And I think just as a general rule of thumb, keeping things as short and sweet as possible. If you can reduce a paragraph down into a bullet point, then do that, because people are just scanning this stuff on their phone most of the time. But you definitely want to do, less is more. If you're sending out one communication this week, everyone's gonna read that and see it and retain it. If you're sending out 10 different things, it's just gonna be too clear. They're not gonna see any of it at all. It just becomes completely ineffective. So you're not getting any of that out. So I would just pick and choose. One tip I'll give you too is kind of tier the priority of what you put out. I've seen churches where they'll even qualify like, okay, here's a tier 1 announcement, here's a tier 2 announcement, here's a tier 3 announcement. And a tier 1 is like, okay, this has to go out on its own. It's very important. We should send out a text message. We should send out an email. Should have a stage announcement. Tier 2 is maybe, okay, this can roll up into the weekly newsletter and just be part of what we put out normally. And then tier 3 may even be, something where you just like, okay, once a month we've got to update this or something like that. But breaking it out like that so you can push it out just in different ways is a little more effective.
That's so cool. I love even just thinking about it that way. The other thing too, I was going to say to that is like, you can utilize our different communications products for different areas. Somebody receiving a message of saying, hey, we had to, maybe close down for a week because of COVID or whatever it is that's happening right in our world today. That's a great message you can send out really quickly. Everyone's going to receive that. Everyone's going to know it's a mass communication tool. But if you use our site and want to use a newsletter feature like Justin was talking about, that's a very different type of communication you're utilizing. So you really can use the different communications products for different areas, which I think is really beneficial. Linda wanted to know if Tithely messaging is part of the church app. Linda, it's actually a separate product. It is only $5 a month. It's a very, very cheap monthly product. I believe we provide the first 200 messages monthly free. Is that correct, Justin? I'm
I
sorry.
believe that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. And again, pricing is coming, you guys, I promise. I'll make sure that we send that out. But there's a set amount of messages monthly that are free. And then if you send outside or on top of that, there's a individual fee per each message. But it is
emails are free though, which is awesome.
Exactly. So emails are free. So there's a lot of different ways you can utilize them. And I know that it can seem kind of overwhelming, but I love the idea that Justin said of, you use one thing, maybe your newsletter is always an email. You want to send out one message a month to everybody saying church at this time, or we updated something. You can use messaging for that. So there's different areas that you can absolutely use for communications.
What I love about messaging, like I would suggest not using text messaging as something to get every message out, but just occasional updates, things like that. But one thing you can do is set it up to where that's part of your follow-up sequence. So someone visits your church and they fill out a connect card or however you have it, where they give you their phone number and email and information, and you can set up some automations and triggers to reply to that and welcome them. Hey, thanks for joining us this last Sunday. You can set it up to go out next Saturday. Hey, just a reminder, we'd love to see you again tomorrow. And it comes out, looking completely personal from somebody. If they reply, you can interact with that. It's just an amazing way to really automate, but still be personal and be able to communicate with people who are visiting your church for the first time. It's just like the perfect way to use text messaging, and then use email for kind of all the other communications.
I love that. That's awesome. All right. 2 more questions. Letitia, yes, you can upload flyers for events on your website. We have a whole events platform with our Tithely site. Paul wanted to know if messaging supports Google Chat, Facebook Messenger, IG. Not yet, Paul, but that is an awesome idea. So I will absolutely reach out and let our communications team know about that. For right now, it is just like a messaging blast, like to text numbers or as an email. But that really is such a great question. I love that. All right, Justin, let's talk about the giveaway. This is exciting.
All right. Well, got a big surprise for you guys. All you got to do is scan this code with your phone. Yay. Or if you don't know what that even is, you can just go to shop.tithe.ly. And if you use the coupon code TithelyU, you can go grab something free from our swag shop. And so
anything.
Yeah, anything. Just
anything
grab anything
you guys want. I'm so excited about this. When I saw this, you guys, I literally squealed. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so great. Everyone,
I saw you lifting up your phone. I don't know, like.
Oh yeah, I definitely scanned it. You too, guys. Don't you worry.
It's just our gift to you guys. Thanks for watching this, and you can just go add anything to your cart and use that code. It'll check it out for free. There's t-shirts and laptop cases. So we just loaded up some new stuff in there today for you. So hope you enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Justin. I hope you guys please take advantage of it. Like I said, we're going to send out this presentation. So if you guys don't have time to screenshot this, don't worry. It's going to be coming out today. Personally, I have a great mug and I have a very cute beanie, just saying. So I'm just going to, we can match. I know, we got a lot of cool stuff that you guys can get a hold of. All right, let's go ahead and run through these last couple of slides really quick. Just a couple of quick things for you guys. I think the first one that we have is if you have any more questions. So this is the link I was trying to post in the chat, but this is our direct support email. This goes right into our intercom chat. And we have an incredible group of support reps who are reviewing this as quickly as possible and ensuring that we get back to you guys. So please follow up with that if you have any questions. And again, we'll be sending out all of those resources as soon as possible. Please join our Facebook group. This is called our Tithely Insider Official Group. We use this for a couple of different ways, but predominantly it's used to really connect with different Tithely customers across the board. We also have some support people who are monitoring it as well. So if you do have support requests, you can post those there. It's a little bit more of a delay, honestly, with responses, but we will monitor it every single day as well. But it is really great just to get to know other people who are in the same boat, ask questions. How do you use this? How are you using the new events platform or anything like that?
What's awesome is that anytime someone posts a question there, usually before we can even get to it, other Tithely users are responding and answering, which is great because you get to see how other churches are using the product too.
That's actually such a great point. So like they're doing our job for us, honestly.
Yeah,
We
totally.
love.
I don't even know.
It's perfect. All right. And then lastly, this is one of our newer products or newer features that we are providing. It's called on-site training. And we've found a lot of great use case for this. If you have transitioned recently into adding in usually like an all access subscription or a couple of our products, and you really want some hands-on, very specific training for what you're trying to do. So we can come in person, we can do it via Zoom, whatever you feel comfortable with. But this is our CX director, whose name is Sharon, and you can email her directly for information on that. It is a different price point, obviously, because it requires us to kind of fly around and come and bring all of our resources. But if you are interested, please reach out directly, and we'll be super happy to get that set up for you guys.
And pro tip, if you're in the Atlanta, Georgia area and you do this, I will personally stop by, give
Ooh.
some more swag and maybe some tacos.
It's swag and tacos. I mean, what else could you ask for, really? Let's be real here. That's amazing. All right, guys. And that is all. A huge thank you to Justin. Such a wonderful webinar today. Thank you guys so much. This was such a fun, interactive one. And I know a lot of you guys have been to our other like more product centered Tithely use. So we're really trying to do some more like this, which is some tips and tricks, some great information around utilization of our products. But seriously, we're so grateful for all of you guys that we get to serve you every single day. And we'll be sending out some resources really soon and all of the links that I spoke about today as well. All right, you guys, thank you so much. And we'll be talking to you very soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.